On the night of Halloween, the moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows upon Hollowwood House. This forsaken mansion had long instilled fear in the hearts of the town's residents. But on this particular night, 4 brave thrill-seekers dared to venture into its crumbling depths. Sarah, Mark, Lisa, and Jake were renowned for their fascination with all things macabre. Having heard the sinister tales surrounding Hollowwood House, they deemed it the perfect place to test their courage. Adorned in costumes that paid homage to classic horror icons, they embarked into the darkness, clutching flashlights. As they crossed the threshold, an icy chill enveloped them. Cobwebs clung to their costumes, and the unmistakable scent of decay lingered in the air. The creaking floorboards beneath their feet whispered like specters. They navigated into the living room, where dusty furniture loomed like silent sentinels. Their laughter concealed the unease that crept into the room as they commenced recounting spine-tingling stories of haunted houses and restless spirits. Beyond the window, the wind howled, contributing to the eerie ambiance. As the night descended into darkness, the group's nerves began to fray. Unearthly sounds reverberated through the house, whispers that seemed to emanate from the very walls, footsteps echoing in vacant rooms, and faint cries that sent shivers down their spines. The oppressive silence between their stories grew increasingly foreboding. Lisa, perpetually skeptical, decided it was time to prove that Hollowwood House held no genuine horrors. "I'll explore the basement alone," she declared with a smirk, "and you'll see there's nothing to fear." Armed with a flashlight, she descended into the abyss. Minutes stretched into an anxious hour, and Lisa had not returned. Panic took hold, and the remaining 3 friends determined to investigate the basement and find her. As they descended the rickety stairs, they were met with a chilling sight. Lisa stood in the center of the basement, her eyes vacant, her skin an unnatural pallor. She mumbled incoherent phrases, her voice steeped in madness. "They're here, watching, always watching." Jake attempted to touch her shoulder in horror, but she abruptly whirled around, casting in glare. She emitted a blood-curdling scream, a sound that seemed to resonate through the very core of the house. Then, without warning, she lunged at Jake, her fingers clawing at his throat. Sarah and Mark, propelled by fear and adrenaline, managed to wrench Lisa away from Jake. Yet she was no longer the friend they knew. Her face contorted into a grotesque smile, and she uttered chilling words that sent shivers down their spines. "You should have left. They'll never let you go now." Terrified and desperate, they fled the basement, leaving Lisa behind. However, the horrors did not cease there. As they raced through the house, they encountered spectral figures, apparitions that appeared to materialize from the very walls. These spirits whispered ghastly secrets and beckoned them into the inky depths. With hearts pounding, they made a frantic dash for the front door, but it remained obstinately locked. The house had ensnared them, and the malevolent presence within grew more potent with each passing moment. In a corner of the room, they huddled together, their thoughts fragmented, and relentless horrors closing in around them. The night seemed to stretch on interminably until at last, the first faint light of dawn broke through the windows. The ghostly tormentors retreated into the shadows, and the friends, weakened and traumatized, finally managed to force the front door open. They stumbled out of Hollowwood House, forever marked by the horrors they had witnessed on that Halloween night. They would never see Lisa again, and the nightmares of that sleepover would persist, serving as a chilling reminder of the malevolent forces that lurked within the cursed Hollowwood House. In the days following the horrifying Halloween night at Hollowwood House, the townspeople couldn't help but converse in hushed tones about Lisa's enigmatic disappearance and the ordeal that had befallen Sarah, Mark, and Jake. Once avid seekers of thrills, they now bore hollow eyes and haunted expressions, forever marked by the malevolent forces that had ensnared them within the decaying walls. The relentless nightmares, which plagued their sleep, refused to release them, replaying the nightmarish events of that fateful evening on an endless loop. In these nocturnal visions, they would hear Lisa's ghostly whispers, witness her vacant gaze, and sense her vengeful presence. The chilling memory of her sinister transformation and the ominous words she had spoken, "Now they will never let you go," haunted their waking hours.
Each night, they found themselves inexorably drawn back into the oppressive darkness of Hollowwood House. The ghostly apparitions that had terrorized them during their ordeal continued to torment their dreams. These spectral figures murmured ancient curses and beckoned them into the abyss. With every passing night, the malevolent hold of the house tightened its grip on their souls. Sarah, Mark, and Jake withered away, their waking lives devoid of solace. They resolved to confront the horrors that haunted them, to unearth the secrets of Hollowwood House, and to break free from the relentless nightmares. In their quest for answers, they delved deep into the town's archives, unearthing forgotten documents and diaries that chronicled the house's dark history. Hollowwood House had been erected upon the remnants of an ancient burial ground, and its first owner, a reclusive occultist, had conducted unspeakable rituals within its walls. Armed with this newfound knowledge, the trio returned to Hollowwood House, resolute in their determination to sever the curse that bound them. They carried with them ancient texts, relics, and protective amulets, hoping that these would serve as their salvation. The purification ceremony was a harrowing and daunting ordeal. As they chanted incantations and recited prayers, the very essence of the house seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. The ghostly apparitions to maintain their grip on the dwelling, but Sarah, Mark, and Jake remained steadfast. Gradually, with each incantation and each meticulously etched protective symbol, the sinister forces within Hollowwood House began to wane. The shadows retreated, and the oppressive atmosphere dissipated. Hours stretched into an eternity, and as the final vestiges of darkness dissipated, the friends emerged from the accursed mansion. They stepped out into the daylight, squinting against the brilliance of the sun. Hollowwood House, once a bastion of terror, now stood in eerie silence, devoid of its malevolent aura. It seemed that the nightmare had finally relinquished its hold. However, the scars of that terrifying Halloween night remained etched in their psyches. Sarah, Mark, and Jake carried the emotional and psychological wounds inflicted upon them by Hollowwood House. While they had been freed from the torment of their nightly terrors, they were forever altered by the memories of their confrontation with the supernatural. The townsfolk continued to speak of the house in hushed tones, but the three friends chose to guard their harrowing experience as a closely held secret. They had confronted unimaginable horrors and emerged scarred yet resilient. The curse had been broken, but Hollowwood House would forever serve as a place of dread, a stark reminder of the malevolent forces that could awaken on Halloween night.